Food bloggers, hi, how are you today? Thank you so much for tuning in to the Eat Blog Talk podcast. This is the place for food bloggers to get information and inspiration to accelerate your blog's growth and ultimately help you to achieve your freedom, whether that's financial, personal, or professional. I'm Megan Porta. I have been a food blogger for 13 years, so I understand how isolating food blogging can be. I'm on a mission to motivate, inspire, and most importantly, let each and every food blogger, including you, know that you are heard and supported. Hey food bloggers, check out our new SEO Supercut, a bonus 15-minute episode capturing highlights from SEO episodes that we have recorded recently. Go to eatblogtalk.com/SEO Supercut to get access today. Have you heard of the Spillt app, food blogger? If you haven't, then you definitely need to listen to this episode. And if you have, you definitely need to listen to this episode because Maddy and Ann, the founders of Spillt, are rolling out some new features which are going to benefit food bloggers immensely, and they're going to also benefit food bloggers' users. This app is so easy to use. It's incredibly easy to get on and to sync with the plugin and get all of your recipes kind of uploaded on the back end so that you can deliver them to people. And I love the way that Ann describes the app inside of this episode. She calls it a bookmark organizer. I thought that was such a good way to explain it. Some of the new features in the app are focused on diversifying revenue for food bloggers. So they have a new subscription/membership tool, meal plan features, and you'll have to listen to the episode to get all the other details. This is episode number 612, sponsored by RankIQ. Hey, food bloggers. One of the constant positive things that has been going on this year in 2024 is the Eat Blog Talk Mastermind group. Even despite all the changes in our industry and all the things that keep coming at us, the members in the group have remained positive and on track and pivoting where needed and just overall thriving. I want to share this audio clip with you from Lucy. She's the blogger at Southern Food and Fun, and she talks about making the investment in your business and in yourself. For more information about the group for 2025 and to apply, go to eatblogtalk.com/mastermind. Here is Lucy.
For anybody on the fence, I highly recommend the mastermind. It's expensive, but it's an investment in your business, an investment in yourself. And I feel like definitely for me, when you have skin in the game, you will put more into it. Like, I feel like I'm working harder because I'm paying this money for this mastermind. So I need to be present and focused and get as much out of it as I can. So that's definitely helpful to me. I highly recommend it.
Now back to the episode. Spillt is a social app for home cooks to save and organize their recipes from anywhere. However, they don't scrape the recipe. They always respect bloggers' traffic. Spillt also offers bloggers tools to share their content through a free WordPress plugin that syncs the recipes to Spillt. And most recently, Spillt launched a paywalled subscription tool that allows bloggers to create a subscription offering for their fans, giving them access to all their blog recipes ad-free, as well as customizable meal plans. Maddy and Ann, I'm so happy to have you guys back on Eat Blog Talk. Welcome.
Thanks so much for having us back.
Yeah. How are you guys doing?
We're doing well. Excited to be here.
Yes. Always love talking to you guys. You are just such positive, inspiring people. Today, we're going to talk about Spillt. I know that your app has a few more offerings we're going to talk about, right? That can benefit food bloggers and food bloggers users. But before we get to Spillt, do you have another fun fact to share with us?
We do.
We do. So I'm getting married later this month, actually, and is a software engineer by trade, and, both likes to use that background, both professionally, obviously, and personally. So when I went to set up my wedding website, Anne insisted on building it herself. And she set up a security screen. And this was actually my idea, but she implemented it very beautifully. And basically you have to, where you have to choose the photo of the traffic light on the screen before moving forward. You had to choose the picture of me and my fiance among a ton of
Oh my
little
gosh, that's so
yeah.
great. I love
And
that.
yeah, it was great. And we actually went viral for a video for I kind of
Oh,
threw together a TikTok on that. But
oh,
so
that's, oh, I love that. That's amazing. I love how you guys complement each other. That's so great. And it probably works out in your business as well, I'm assuming.
Yes, definitely helpful to have that balance of the
Yeah,
creative, the artistic, and then, someone to build it.
absolutely. The best partners, I feel like, can just really do that and balance each other out in so many ways. Okay, so since it's been a while since you have been on the podcast, will you tell us just a little bit about Spillt? If people don't know what Spillt is, just give us the rundown.
yeah, definitely. So people might already be familiar with this, but what we had built a couple of years ago and what's been live since is a phone app for home cooks to save and share online recipes from anywhere online. So it can be a recipe from any blog, any TikTok, Instagram, cookbook, anywhere online or physical. And that we also have a social element. So you can also see what other users are saving. And when we first launched, we also rolled out a WordPress plugin where bloggers can set up a profile in our app that syncs over all the links to a profile where users can follow them in the app. And anytime a user leaves a review for a recipe in Spillt, it syncs over that review and star rating to their recipe card. So there's a little added value. And the big piece too about how we're saving the recipes is we're not scraping, we're not trying to just steal the content. We show the full recipe. And so bloggers are getting the ad views. We just wanted to build a way that, home cooks like ourselves, which is where we were coming from with the problem, could save all of the kind of random recipes from anywhere online that in one place. And also the social element was really important to us as well.
Yeah. And that no ad experience, is that kind of the main highlight for the user, would you say?
Sorry, currently the way that it works is when we're more like a bookmark organizer. So like Maddie was sort of explaining, the big part is when you save a recipe from a blog, we save the URL, we, give you like a preview, we make it easy to find and organize. But then when you actually go to view the recipe, you see the full page web view.
Gotcha. Okay.
The ads. What we tried to, and that was something that was really important to us to start, is build an experience that is sort of mutually beneficial. And so for users, it's like, oh my gosh, I love this, this lasagna recipe. I want to make it, every month, rather than Googling like lasagna recipe and looking for the purple link, save it somewhere nice for you. And then we do a couple other nice things. That's, your phone doesn't go to sleep while you're cooking. Oh my gosh, so obvious, but like it really makes a big difference. And then we can easily make grocery lists and stuff like that. So we do sort of save the metadata, but when you do it, you open the full thing.
Okay. I love how you said a bookmark organizer. That in my mind just made sense. I was like, oh, of course. That's exactly what it is.
People sometimes compare it to like old school Pinterest.
Okay. Oh, I like that. Yeah, that's a good comparison too. Also, the plugin, how you can sync reviews from the app to your blog. So every review that's left on the app goes to the blog automatically through the plugin. Oh my gosh.
It's exactly. But the blogger still has that layer of filter where if they have kind of a review process to make sure, they can approve reviews to go on their blog. That's still enabled. So we're not just kind of bypassing any of that.
Okay. All right. Amazing. And then how is it going? Are you guys getting a lot of food bloggers just really loving Spillt?
Yeah, we're so appreciative I think they've been food bloggers in general have been both really supportive, but also just really helpful in sort of, you all know your audience best. And so as we're sitting here saying, is this working? What do you want to see? What do your followers want to see? That's been amazingly helpful to us in sort of making sure that what we're building is consistent with what you're hearing and what is important to you and your followers. And that we've got over 200 who have installed the plugin. So we're very grateful for that kind of steady, it's really nice for our users, our home cooks, to be able to follow bloggers and get new, posts from them, see their latest content really easily. We just think this is like another way for food bloggers to distribute their content. And that's something that our users really benefit from as well.
Right. And from the food blogger perspective, we're always looking for ways to make our users happy. So I think this is just another way we can do that. Okay. And so you guys have some new features rolling out, right? Do you want to talk about those?
Yes, exactly. So like Maddie said, we really started, our first focus was on building a really cohesive and strong consumer app. And that was, something that is informed by our needs as home cooks, but we wanted to do it consistently in a way that was respectful of food bloggers' businesses. We have, just like we said, the utmost respect for making sure that like your current ad revenue, your current monetization is totally untouched, and if anything, helped by what we're building. Now, we wanted to take that a step further, though, and say, okay, what is top of mind for food bloggers today? And so in all of these conversations that we had, we heard a couple really strong trends. We heard, a lot of concern about diversifying revenue. We heard a lot of concern about just time. We all are, stretched for time, and making sure that this is something that is easy to do, doesn't require developing a ton of new content, doesn't require a ton of setup work or, implementation. So that was something, those were two really, firm things that we heard. And ideally something that is, the other side of that coin is passive. Passive revenue is, obviously such an important thing to bloggers. And so what we saw an opportunity for is how can we connect, your fans, your followers who are looking for a clean, easy, smooth experience. And one of the things that we're obviously, I'm sure you can't even have a podcast on here without talking about AI. But one of the other trends that we, are noticing obviously is people like AI, not because it gives them good recipes, because frankly, I don't think it does.
Yeah.
But because it's really clean and easy to use. And so how can we give your followers a clean and easy to use interface for your recipes that still brings you in, that passive income, that sort of diversified revenue, that's not just obviously stealing your content, because that is frankly not what we're about.
Yeah.
So long wind up, what did we build? We built the subscription tool. So you as a food blogger can offer $5 a month, whatever, you set the price point, a subscription to your followers so that they can get your recipes ad-free, clean. And then also what we heard from, from bloggers is these sort of premium meal plans are something that are really interesting and exciting today. So we have a really great meal plan tool that makes it super easy to just drag and drop recipes from anywhere, makes you a grocery list, it organizes it by aisle, it does all this good stuff for you. So letting our bloggers sort of help their followers have an easier, week of meal plans, letting them set up those meal plans as well and have them be sort of premium content for their followers.
Wow. That's so cool, you guys. So everything that you mentioned can be done through the app.
Yes. So kind of like how bloggers were starting to set up premium, subscriptions on Substack, you get that through your email. A premium subscription on Patreon, your followers will log on to Patreon. At the end of the day, it's just PDFs. And we think that those are not, again, we'll never, that is no way to disparage. I think those are both like phenomenal products that have a ton of tremendous value. But what we saw the opportunity for is like, what if we made this really tailored to recipes? So you have all of these premium recipes ad-free in the same toolbox where you're saving, your favorite cookbook, your Otto Lengi recipes, and your New York Times ones. If you use those, all of them kind of living in one central place together. So when you're getting ready for the week, you're not jumping between 13 different tools.
Okay. That's really valuable. And is this available on desktop or is it mobile only?
Yes.
Okay.
And that's one exciting thing that has happened in the past year or so is we rolled out web. And so the big motivator for that was actually the meal planning tool, because we knew that just having a bigger screen, it's so much easier to have a little bit more real estate to do that.
Yes.
So we don't have quite all of the same social functionality on web quite yet, but we're planning on rolling that out. But everything, saving recipes, organizing them into different collections, creating grocery lists, that's all, and doing all the meal planning functionality, that's all on web.
Okay. Have you had some beta testers or people trying this out? And what has their feedback been so far?
Yeah, it's been so helpful. I think building for web has been the result of that. As soon as we started talking
Yeah.
and sort of saying like, hey, do you want to sign up? That was the first feedback we heard was like, oh, but I just really want to do this on my
Yeah.
computer. Great. So far, I think that, from users, we have the app has been a phenomenal source of feedback already. And so what's nice is these don't feel like new features. It's the same kind of functionality that we've already really built and we feel have honed. Obviously, we're still always improving it. So that's never to say it's, done. But in general, we've had users kind of doing things like saving recipes, making meal plans for years now. So we feel really good about the consumer experience. For bloggers, this is us building kind of a SaaS, a software as a service business tool suite. And so some of the really great feedback we've gotten early on were around things like making sure so many bloggers use virtual, assistants, which of course they do. That makes so much sense. And so making sure that we have sort of flexibility around login, something we're working on right now, integrating with ConvertKit, which I think as of today is Kit. So, we'll update all that.
Oh,
Like,
I wasn't aware.
yeah, I was following along that. We've been in their docs and stuff. So we're, integrating with ConvertKit, making sure that all of your followers can be shared seamlessly synced over to your email list. Lots of stuff like that, kind of the nitty gritty behind the scenes of implementation has been really important. But overall, I think we're just excited to get this smooth and polished consumer functionality into your followers' hands in a way where they're paying you for it, basically.
Yeah. Hello there, awesome food bloggers. Taking a really quick break to chat about RankIQ. I love this keyword research tool, and you've heard me talk about how much it has helped to grow my traffic on my own blog, Pip and Ebby. I obviously love the traffic growth I've experienced, but I'll tell you about an additional reason I love this tool so much, which is how quickly I can publish a post compared to my pre-RankIQ days. One, I don't do as much searching on the front end of the process of deciding on a keyword because there are so many ideas just waiting for me right inside the keyword library. Because of this, I dig into the writing portion really quickly and with laser focus. Two, I write each post with confidence because each keyword has been handpicked, promising low competition and high search volume. With other tools, I approach each keyword with hesitation because I really don't know how each one will perform or whether it's going to produce traffic for me. And three, the RankIQ optimizer is the best optimizer out there, no joke. It provides very specific words and phrases to use in my content. This makes the writing process go so quickly and smoothly as the optimizer acts as my guide, leading the way to a comprehensively written post. Go to rankiq.com to sign up and check it all out for yourself. Now back to the episode. And then you guys touched on the community aspect, which is more of a perk, I guess, on mobile, right? Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I think one of the things that we just feel so strongly about is cooking is inherently social. And I think so many of these products are built as kind of a utility, which there's value in, don't get me wrong, like a recipe box, if that's kind of your metaphor, that sits in your kitchen and maybe it's made digital. But at the end of the day, I want to share that recipe box. I want, Maddie has all these great recipes that she's cooking as well. And oftentimes she's discovering bloggers and telling me about them. So for us having this social element to it, we're very actively trying to pull that into other, threads as well, whether that's all of the followers of a specific blogger being able to interact with each other, and even just something as straightforward as our search results. When I search for, again, lasagna, I don't know, it's getting fall weather out here, so lasagna is top of mind apparently. But when I'm searching for lasagna, and I see a recipe that my mom has saved, that's the one I want, totally blows everything else out of the water. And so I think this kind of personalization of discovery, this being able to quickly share, all of that stuff we think is just really fundamental to how these apps need to work in order for them to be really truly successful for users.
Okay. Is there really any reason why a food blogger would not want to get into this app? Like, do you guys hear people talking like, "Ooh, I would really like this," but like, what are those reasons?
Well, that's something that I think there's plenty of reasons. And I think the biggest one is your time is valuable. And that's something that we just, feel so strongly about. And to that end, I think one of the big hesitations we hear from people is how long is this going to take to get set up? How long is that? How much work am I going to have to do to manage it? And I can't, all I can say is we're doing everything in our power to make sure that there are two things that, are really, really important to the experience. And one is making sure that it's easy to set up. We've got the WordPress plugin. You go through, you check, you hit sync once. You're not manually entering data. You're not spending a ton of time going through and editing things. Like, we want this to be really easy. Our hope is under 15 minutes and you're just good to go. Obviously, we are always hearing from bloggers how important that is. So that's something that we've definitely prioritized. And then the other thing is just de-risking I think the other piece of this is, how much money am I actually going to make? This is kind of a new product. It's a new offering. And so to that end, we wanted to make sure that bloggers who sign up with us don't feel like they're investing a ton of time or money and then maybe not getting payoff. So as I think we mentioned briefly, we're waiving the monthly platform fee. So you could get set up today and not pay us a dime until you start getting subscribers. So that's really important to us. We want it to feel low friction and low risk. And the other big piece of that is, we know that for your followers, we want to make sure that this is as compelling of an offering as we possibly can make it. And so if you're a blogger who has like a very specific niche, maybe only, a couple hundred recipes, but they're really good ones. And, if you're whatever, crock pot recipes that are specifically for vegan, gluten-free or something, whatever, just like throwing a lot of things together, that can get a little bit narrow. But what's nice about this solution is, for your followers, it's not like they're expecting to find every single recipe that they cook from you, but maybe they do love your recipes so much they want them in a premium subscription sort of setting. This way, it's not the burden or expectation that you give them every single recipe they're making this week, but it'll play nicely with wherever else they're getting their recipes. So that's kind of the other thing of, we're hoping to sort of de-risk this from a user's perspective. It's not like I'm switching my cable provider to just like, Megan's TV and like only getting all my TV from you.
Yeah.
I'm just sort of adding this on as a really great opportunity to sort of support this blogger who I just really enjoy their recipes.
Yeah, it takes the pressure off too, that we don't have to provide every single recipe for everything they ever make. Because I think that is the pressure with starting a membership. It's like, who is going to become a part of a membership where it's just me? That puts a huge load on my shoulders, I feel like.
Exactly.
Yeah, and we also know that there are some kind of white label app solutions out there. And we felt strongly about that we didn't want another app for kind of a single use type content. And so we wanted our bloggers to be able to share their content in our app, where their users could also save other recipes from other sources.
Yeah. Okay, so to get started, if somebody is very intrigued by this, number one, get the app, right? Get on the app. Number two, get the WordPress plugin and then sync the two. And it shouldn't take that much time. Things just kind of magically happen in the background.
That they do.
And then, yep, exactly. And then we are whenever a blogger sets up, we're in touch with them and kind of making sure that they are happy with how everything looks. And so we're doing some magic in the background too.
Okay.
To get them started.
And then you mentioned waiving the monthly platform fee, correct?
Exactly. So the way our pricing works is, we take 99 cents of every subscription per month. And so if you're selling a $5 subscription, for example, we take 99 cents of that. We also pass through the Stripe fees, which is something that bloggers may be familiar with if they've set up other products. A really important thing, and again, just to sort of speak to, we know how valuable your time is. Managing Stripe can be a hassle, right? Things like someone changes their credit card and wants to, or cancels or whatever. We manage all of that. So the thing that's really important to us is providing kind of a smooth and seamless experience from the end consumer's end. And so that Stripe fees, we handle all of that. We just pass through and pay out to bloggers monthly based on how many subscriptions that they had during that month, and take out, as we mentioned, the Stripe fee, our fee. And then we will eventually have a platform fee. But again, we just really wanted to minimize the risk. We wanted to make sure this is a no-brainer. And so for bloggers who are interested in getting set up in this next month, we're totally waiving that for the first year.
Great. That's awesome. And is that for all bloggers, or do they have to have a special promo code or anything like that?
No, that's just for all.
Okay. Oh, that's so nice of you guys. I love that you're doing that.
When this episode goes live, we'll make sure that the timeline is adjusted and updated accordingly.
Okay. Is there anything else people need to know before they get started?
The biggest thing that I think we want to make sure that people feel comfortable with is, again, we know that this is a slightly different model from that sort of, like Matt, I mentioned, that white label. If you go to like meganporta.com, that's obviously a different experience than going to spillt.com and following Megan. And so we, when we're sort of explaining this and what that means in terms of trade-offs, kind of like a Patreon, if you build a following on Patreon, obviously it's your content that shines. It's your content that people are going to consume. The thing how we like to explain it though, is if something goes wrong, like a user can't log in, they forgot their password, there's a new iOS update and that, everyone's, all of the app needs to work, which I know happens all the time with WordPress updates and all that sort of stuff. We want to be the ones kind of being the front line on that in terms of customer service. And that's something that I think we feel really good at. That's what we've been doing for the past few years, is managing all of those kind of edge cases, those situations with users when stuff is not quite right for whatever reason. And then I think what's really important about that is they get to really just focus on your content and come to you to say, hey, if I swap out gluten-free flour in this cupcake, is that going to work? If I, can I make this vegan? Whatever the question is, like, that's where we want bloggers to be able to focus their time, not, hey, what's my password? Hey, can I, change my credit card or something like that. So that's where we're drawing that line, I guess, but recognizing obviously it's a different experience, but something that we feel there's a real opportunity for a lot of bloggers who don't want to manage customer support for, technical stuff, since I think you all do that really beautifully anyways, but doesn't feel like the highest and best use of food bloggers' time.
Do you guys rely mostly on the bloggers to get the users onto the platform? Do you have other ways of getting people onto Spillt?
Yeah, we have kind of a handful of marketing efforts. And honestly, we've relied a lot on word of mouth too for growth because of that social aspect. We hear so many stories and we get so many DMs of, hey, I downloaded the app and I also got my entire family and it's so great. And they're just kind of countless anecdotes that we've heard over the past couple of years about that. And so we've been really grateful for that and some marketing efforts as well. But we always are very appreciative when a blogger brings their community on and shares it with their community, because we really do think it's a win-win for both a blogger and their following.
Yeah. And there are lots of other app marketing channels like Maddie mentioned. So for example, last week, actually, it was very fun. We were Apple's app of the day. That saw a big spike. Oh. Fun fact about that. Apple doesn't tell you. They're just like, surprise.
They don't tell you?
No. And it was the second time this year we have been app of the day, which we're obviously appreciative of, but it was a little bit of a quick scare when we couldn't figure out where all the traffic was coming from.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
Yeah.
You would think they would alert you to that. That's interesting.
They sent us an email earlier in the year that we were being considered and guaranteed. We sent in creative and artwork and did this whole thing. And then it was just radio silence for like a couple months. And so it happened earlier and we knew it was coming at some point. And then we didn't realize it was going to happen again. So just last Monday, we woke up and Maddie's like, hey, things are really spiking. I don't know why. I was like, oh my God, I hope it's not spam. But it wasn't. It was all really great users. And that was fun. But
well, that's exciting. Congratulations, you guys. That's a huge testament to your app and all of the work you put into it.
Well, thank you. It's been definitely exciting once we knew what it was. It was very exciting. But yeah, so we are doing all of those sorts of like different marketing channels for just general app promotion.
Yeah. That's so great. Is there anything else we need to know? Anything about the app? Anything about getting started? Your vision? I don't know. Anything you want to share to kind of wrap this up?
I think the only thing I'd want to add is that we've been so appreciative of the blogger conversations we've had for kind of giving us direction about what features to build out with this new offering. And so if there's something else that would really make this compelling, we are all ears. That is such helpful information for us to help direct what take us in a certain direction. And that was actually something that recently came out. We had a conversation with one food blogger who said, nutrition information is so valuable to my community. And that's not necessarily true for every blogger, but we heard that, we realized that was also probably compelling for other bloggers. And so now with the premium subscriptions, we also have the option to show the nutrition information for a particular recipe in the ad-free version. So just any feedback, anything that would really make this compelling, we love to hear it.
The other thing in terms of vision, what we're moving towards, which I love that question, because we obviously want to be careful here of like, here's what we have, we're ready to go today. Very quickly though, what we're seeing on the horizon and sort of speaking to this ongoing point of like, how can we make this low friction and easy? We love how community-oriented food bloggers are. And so being able, one of the things that's nice about this flexibility of us managing the Stripe integration is we want to be able to bundle bloggers. So if you have, a handful of other, whatever it is, whatever niche it is, pastry bloggers, and you want to sort of bundle all of your recipes together, that's something that is very much on our horizon and we're actively working towards. And just pulling in more of that kind of community feel. We know some bloggers do this ad hoc and, Facebook groups right now or other places, but we think having an opportunity for paid subscribers to really kind of differentiate themselves and say like, no, these are the people who really care about you, can create something really special. Even if it's not, you moderating it, just giving those followers of yours an opportunity to sort of engage with each other. We see a huge amount of potential in that as well.
Amazing. Well, thank you guys. This was super valuable. Yeah, I think this will inspire a lot of people just to go check it out. And seems like a no-brainer to me. Like it's a win-win all around. Doesn't take much time to set up. Yes. I mean, I hope that you guys see a huge spike, just like your Apple Day.
Oh, thank you. We really
thank you.
Fun as always to chat through with you. So thank you.
Well, thanks for being here. Do you guys have either a favorite quote or words of inspiration to leave us with?
Yes, I love this. It's a book I'm actually still reading right now called Still Life with Woodpecker by Tom Robbins. And this quote that I loved from it was, there are only two mantras, yum and yuck. Mine is yum.
I love that. That's so perfect for us.
Isn't that good? I know. I just read that and I thought, yes, that's exactly right. Like we yum. We like yes. To support.
What a perfect way to end this conversation. I love it. It's always like people just find the perfect quote or words to kind of tie into what we're talking about, tie into the theme of food blogging. It's so great how they do that. And you did the same. So thank you. We'll put together a show notes page for you guys. So if you want to go look at those, head to eatblogtalk.com/spillt with 2 L's, since this is your second time being here. So it is SPILLT, correct?
Perfect.
Yeah. Okay. And go download the app, get the plugin, get started. I hope you guys all do it. Sounds like it could be nothing but goodness for your business. So yeah, I guess we've kind of talked about this already, but I like for you to, at this point, reiterate where people can find you.
Yes, we are on all the social platforms, as Maddy is courageously making a lot of content on TikTok. We are what's our Spillt app.
Spillt.app.
Spillt.app.
All social.
Yeah, you guys create, is that all you, Maddy? All of your TikTok, and you do such a good job. I love this content you put together. It's entertaining, it's informative, it's everything. I love it so much. You're doing such a great job with that.
Sometimes it feels a little DIY, but
yeah, no, I hear you. Well, thanks again, guys, for being here. And thank you for listening, food bloggers. I will see you next time. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Eat Blog Talk. Please share this episode with a friend who would benefit from tuning in. I will see you next time.